That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole, and it's also bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And you know it, I'm always coming to you live from that ice cave.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Party Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Party Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also, shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. You tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
That's right. Please check out all the great sponsors of my show, Moorline Lager House, T Properties, Party Lawn and Landscaping. Check all them out for all your needs and tell them Ice sent you. Now, I know there's a show a little earlier, doing at 3 o'clock today, and that's what I was telling you. Hit the bell for notifications because you never know. I'm usually live at 5:30, but sometimes I go earlier. Sometimes I go later. Hit the bell for notifications so you're always notified when I'm going live. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got Brandon in there. We got the NFL Draft Fanatic, which is the draft professor who's going to be on here. And we got Crypt Keeper. What's going on, everybody? I'm glad you guys were able to join the show. Okay, so we're talking draft. And the premise of this is we talk, first round 10 a lot. I think a lot of us are consensus it's Caleb Downs or Peter Woods or something like that, which we can get into that too. It's more of I want to get into like the deeper part of this draft too. Like, what we're going to do in round 5, 6, 7. What are the guys that are going to be there? Because that's the meat and potatoes of an NFL draft. And I think the Bengals have missed on that greatly the last couple of years. So when you want to get an expert, you get a guy who's a professor. So we get the draft professor. His name is Jim. What's up, Jim? How you doing, brother?
I am doing pretty good, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I hope you are enjoying this nice warm weather. The snow is melting. How's it look on your side of town? Can you actually see grass?
I see grass in Mainville. It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Yes, we're getting closer to the NFL draft. We're getting closer to baseball. I'm loving it. All right, so let's start with number 10 for first round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. And like I said, the consensus is it's either most likely Caleb Downs is what I think the consensus pick is for everybody. Some people like Dale, our buddy from Bengals and Brews, really likes Peter Woods there as well. People who love Baines to be there. I don't think he's going to make it to 10. But what's your thoughts on 10? Who's going to be there? What are the options? And what's that look like?
So I think Caleb Downs is within reason, right? He's going to go within 3 picks of the Bengals.
Okay.
Right? Like
hopefully not before.
Right. And that's the issue, right? Because Miami needs a safety. They could leapfrog Cincinnati. So that's something to pay attention to there, right?
Right.
But I know that that's also a popular pick for Kansas City.
Yeah.
So He's going to be within range of the Bengals.
Right.
I think Peter Woods is a good name to invoke. I know Dale and I have talked. He likes Peter Woods. He likes David Bailey as well. David Bailey, an edge rusher. Obviously, that would imply then that the Bengals would be losing Trey Hendrickson. So
that I think we all know that's going to happen. So that's a foregone conclusion, I think.
Yeah, and I think some other names to pay attention to might be Spencer Fano, the right tackle from Utah, or Monroe Freeling, the left or right tackle from Georgia.
Okay.
And maybe even Viga Ione, the interior offensive lineman from Penn State. He's probably I would say in some ways he might be the safest prospect.
Okay.
At a more valuable position. Like I could get into a debate as to would I want a guard or a safety.
Right.
Regardless of positional need, the protecting Joe Burrow to me would be more important than getting a safety.
True. I mean, I can't argue that. But Caleb Downs, like I've had people tell me they've compared him to Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, and I remember as a Bengals fan watching those guys torture us for years, having a guy who I'm not saying he's going to be either one of those guys, but has potential to play at that level. That sounds pretty interesting to me. What's your thoughts on Caleb as a prospect as far as it goes to project? I'm not going to say a Hall of Famer like Ed Reed, but projecting into the NFL and plug and play player.
Let's not compare a player that's never played a down to Hall of Fame safeties. Don't do that.
Probably a good idea.
Right. That's setting everybody up for failure, because that means if he only makes a Pro Bowl, he's a failure.
Right.
So
let's put this. How about the impact he can make in the 2026 season? Let's go with that.
So ultimately, your goal is to draft starters. Regardless of position, your goal is to draft starters.
Right.
Starters at some positions are more important than starters at others. I'd rather have a starting left tackle than a starting safety. Right? Just fundamentally for like roster building.
Right.
And I mean, I was getting into that with Parker Blake today, just even on Twitter. Right.
Right.
As far as like which positions would be considered more important.
Okay.
So Caleb Downs as a prospect, I would say he's probably better compared to maybe Kyle Hamilton, but people still view Kyle Hamilton as a better prospect.
That's still a good comparison. Kyle Hamilton's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you were talking off air about the money for safety and DB. Would you like to expand on that a little bit? What you're telling me off air?
Sure. So salaries for rookies, and when you're I should say salaries for draft picks are fixed, right? You can go to the website right now and we can tell you that I'm looking at the 11th overall pick because that was the search I did. Let me do the 10th overall pick here for a minute. So the salaries for the 10th overall pick, he's going to sign a 4-year, $29 million contract. It's going to be just short of $30 million. Right. We already know what the contract is. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the question is, are you ready to pay a safety an average of $7.5 million a year? So you can go and look at who the highest paid safeties are. $7.5 million a year is going to make you the 15th highest paid safety in the league? So are you ready the moment that you draft Caleb Downs to say he is one of the 15 highest paid safeties in the league?
I am, because we don't have one. So
right. But that's how NFL teams draft.
Right.
And you may want like best player available, but it's best player available based upon the salary that you're going to be paying them. And everything is going to be slated. So whether the Bengals at 10th overall drafted a quarterback or drafted a safety, that player is going to make the same amount of money.
Right. It's slotted for the draft pick itself. All right, let's get to a couple comments here. Ken here says sleeper pick Landon Robinson, Navy defensive tackle Malachi Lawrence, or defensive end. Sorry. What's your thoughts on those two?
So Malachi Lawrence getting a lot of top 50 love. I don't know that he goes top 50, but there are people that have first round grade on, like shout out to Alex at Hail Mary Sports. And then several others, Newt Weston, Owen, that podcast with me. They're high on Lawrence, just not first round grade. So you're going to hear Lawrence's name called on day 1 or 2 if I had to bet. Okay. Landon Robinson, like Ryan Sparks talks to me about Landon Robinson all the time. He didn't even get a combine invite.
I think because I know Ken, I think put that out underneath my Twitter announcing the show, and it might have been Sparks. Somebody said that he didn't even get invited to the combine, which that's interesting. I must say to not get that invite. So he's going to have to make do his own combine or his own at his pro day at his own school. So that'll be interesting how that works out here. He's got another one here. No,
Nadeem Tucker.
Thank you. Nadeem. I was going to say no Dame. Nadeem Tucker.
So that's a player I'm less familiar with. I believe he was at the Shrine Bowl.
Okay.
So Western Michigan. So coming out of the MAC, actually, I believe he was actually at the Senior Bowl. I'm checking my math now. So he was at the Senior Bowl. He came out of Western Michigan. Ironically, we did a MAC show in July. And one of the guys that was doing the show with me is a former MAC scout.
Oh, really? Okay.
And even Owen, Miss Nadeem Tucker, he and I tease about that when he and I text. Because we covered, there's a whole bunch of other players that are coming out of the MAC, like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, safety from Toledo. Probably the best player coming out of the MAC this year. Shout out also to Red Murdoch, the linebacker from Buffalo. Those are probably going to be the first 2 MAC players that are drafted.
Okay.
Maybe Tucker goes higher than Murdoch. Maybe.
Okay.
So it's interesting to see where NFL teams value the lower the non-power 4 conferences. But I definitely think Tucker's getting drafted. But again, it's, how does a team value Western Michigan over like SEC or Big Ten football?
There you go. I got another one here real quick. Then we'll get into the second round for the Bengals here. Does Galladay, a Bearcat favorite here, does Galladay fall to the Bengals in the second round?
So I think he will be on the board at round 2 for the Bengals. My favorite landing spot for Galladay is the Colts in round 2, and I believe the Colts pick after the Bengals.
They like Bearcats. They got 2 of them on there already, and Sauce and Alex Pierce.
So one of the things that like when I've talked with Ryan and Dale specifically on Draft Professor podcast is the Bengals have invested a lot of early draft capital in linebackers.
Right.
So whether you like the Bengals linebackers or not, the Bengals probably wouldn't invest in another linebacker until later in the draft because you want to make sure that your draft picks can see the field. Mm-hmm. So my instincts are the Bengals are probably going to be going defensive line, safety, maybe offensive line with the earlier picks. They might get a linebacker later or a defensive back or a slot receiver later. But you have to kind of spread where on the roster you apply your early picks.
Right. Now, give a shout out to your website too, because I know you got your own website here where people can check out all your draft stuff at.
Yeah, so I run Draft Professors, which is a combination of a podcast platform. We also have a draft simulator. There's a lot of different things that you can do in the draft simulator. I've definitely got some buttons that nobody else does. You can even see we've done a lot of Bengals podcasts. I've done them with Dale. I've done them with Ryan Sparks. And then Parker Blake podcasts with me a little bit as well. So there's probably some familiar Bengals draft names that come on Draft Professor once in a while. We podcast every day. So we have
What's that like?
It's a lot of fun.
I do it every day, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So ultimately the branded draft professors, you're going to get multiple opinions.
Right.
It's not about the opinion of one or what is the one big board. The simulator has a big board specific to the Bengals. And as you do mock drafts for the Bengals, it will adjust the Bengals board for you.
Now, is there any cost to using any of this stuff, or is it all free?
The website is completely free.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
we do request that you register, and there's 985 people that use the website because there's 985 people that have registered. But it's completely free, and it's like I said, it's different. We do mock drafts differently at the Draft Professor, and I had a lot of fun podcasting with Ryan Sparks. That was probably at this point 2 weeks ago.
I gotta get him on sometime. I have not had him on yet. I gotta get Ryan on sometime. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the second round with the Bengals. And I asked you this earlier off air again, and I said this is pie in the sky, but there was somebody who said this. Peter Woods is dropping, and that's Dale's guy that he likes at 10. Is there any shot at all you think Peter Woods is going to drop to 41 at the beginning of the second round for the Bengals?
No.
Okay. I said it's pie in the sky, but there was somebody who mocked him there. Who do you think will be there that the Bengals could draft and probably will draft?
So defensive linemen, assuming that it's Caleb Downs in round 1, then I do think interior defensive line round 2. Names to think about would be Caleb Banks, Dominique Orange, Kristen Miller, Daryl Jackson Jr. Those are names that immediately come to mind. The biggest issue, like Caleb Banks, it's really a wild card.
Right.
He didn't play. I think he played 2 games or 3 games for Florida this year. But I mean, Dale is on record, right? I mean, Dale was podcasting with me in the summer. Dale's like, this guy's going to go top 10 in the draft.
Right.
Right. So the challenge is Caleb Banks. It's very similar to the Deion Walker syndrome, right? Deion Walker fell to round 4 last draft, but for all intents and purposes, he had a first round grade in the summer, and then he just fell because he was injured.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Caleb Banks is very similar body to Deion Walker.
So if you had a pick right now, February 11th, are you going with Banks for the second round for the Bengals? Or
I don't think he drops that far, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I don't think he drops that far. I would say like a Dominique Orange or a Kristen Miller. Some people really like Daryl Jackson Jr. that high. Other people are wait till day 3 for Daryl Jackson Jr. So that's a name that you're going to hear on draft day. The question is, how do you value, the 6'3", 325-pound defensive tackle that hasn't always produced, but he's difficult to move out of the middle.
Right. All right. So you gave me names here. Give me positions on those guys because I don't know. Those don't register me offhand.
All those guys I listed were defensive tackles.
Defensive tackle. Okay. All right. Cool.
All of them were defensive tackles.
Okay. All right.
So then the other thing is that I know that I've talked with several Bengals people about whether or not they should be drafting a cornerback high. So I know what Cincinnati, I believe, is 2 free agent corners.
No, they're not free agents yet. The DJ Turner will be a free agent after next year, and Dax Hill. I think both of them can be free agents after next year. So they got him this year. Yes.
Yeah, and I see the comment in the chat about Lee Hunter. I didn't even mention Lee Hunter because I thought he was going to be off the board. So I think Lee Hunter, Caden McDonald, they're going to be long gone before the Bengals' second round pick, in my opinion.
Ken also says no, Jim McCoy. He doesn't want him.
Well, and from my standpoint, again, I mean, if he's there in round 2, you need to grab him. He would be BPA, and then figure out your cornerback room after you pick him.
Right. It could be an interesting. It's gonna be an interesting pick. I just don't want the Bengals to pick projects. That's my biggest thing. I want them at least your first 2 rounds. We need starters. I mean, we need as far as what we need. Now it depends on. I always say it depends on what they do in free agency. I'm hoping they're go big time into free agency, get a safety, get a linebacker, hope we get some edges, and that way they could just go BPA, which is what you want to happen. You don't want to have to draft for need. You don't want to have to do that, and the Bengals have done that way too often. All right, so we're going to the third round here, which I don't know what number round what number that is for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I still think they're probably going to go defense. I think it's defense first 3 picks. What's your thoughts on what you think the Bengals do there?
Well, and my opinion is the Bengals at some point need to address offensive line.
Okay, is there so many all right, hold on. I actually addressing it as far as getting a swing tackle, which is where I think that's where they might be going, or trying to address it as a left or right tackle to replace Orlando Brown eventually. Is that where you're thinking? I don't know if there's going to be one that late. What is that? What you're talking about?
So first of all, you have to recognize that it's very difficult to find tackles in free agency.
Yeah,
Good tackles.
It's hard to find tackles in general.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to grow your own tackle.
Right.
And again, if I'm running the Bengals, I would pick Monroe Freeling over Caleb Downs in round 1. I would fix tackle and keep Joe Burrow healthy.
Right.
And again, that's just me. And there's a reason I'm not in charge. But
maybe you need to be. I mean, maybe it would help.
I mean, look at the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and think of the offensive linemen that the Patriots did not pick.
Yeah, that's why they lost.
They passed on Josh Simmons. They passed on Armand Membu. Right?
Yep.
And either of those picks in that Super Bowl may have turned out differently.
Yeah. Yeah, could have.
Right.
But the way Drake May played, I think he could have been there all day and still would have. He was ass this whole playoffs. He did not play good at all. But yes,
I'm with you there.
Yeah, but giving him more time would definitely help. Yes.
Yeah. So you need to address offensive line. The advantage when you draft a tackle and the pick hits, you don't need to worry about the position for another 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm with you on that. I mean,
right?
I don't disagree.
So somewhere between pick 41 and pick 72, I expect Blake Miller from Clemson to go off the board.
Okay.
He's not everybody's favorite tackle though. None of the Bengals people that I've podcasted with have mentioned Blake Miller, but Blake Miller's being mentioned by nearly every other fan base. Right.
That's because we're all thinking defense. That's what we're thinking.
Right.
Fix. And then this is something again, if they go heavy in free agency, they could do this. It would make complete sense to do it if you fix or I won't say fix it, but get a lot of guys in on the defense side of the ball in free agency. You could do something
right. Right. That would be exactly correct. So obviously we're podcasting here a couple days before Valentine's Day. Free agency begins in about 3 or 3.5 weeks.
I'm ready.
So
I'm so ready.
I'm definitely ready.
Yeah, because to me that like I said, sorry to interrupt you there, but for me that's where I'm always like, yeah, we can do mock drafts and all this stuff, but free agency should dictate what they do. Now they didn't really do crap last year in free agency, so it was drafted for need. So that's where free agency should be huge for the Bengals this year, and I expect them to go big into it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I saw somebody drop center into the chat. So go after Tyler Linderbaum. Don't mess around.
That's dude. I was on. You can ask Dale. I had a crush. My draft crush was Tyler Linderbaum, and the freaking Ravens took him right before us. I was, God. And I would kick Ted over to guard. I'm like, I would do that in a heartbeat. I love Ted, but Linderbaum would be awesome.
Okay. That's somewhere between round 3 and 5, and I know the Bengals don't have a round 4 pick. And I'm looking to verify that they actually have a 5th round pick. Is it later?
I think they got one back. I thought they did.
It might be. Is it round 3 then round 6?
Because they got one back when they traded. They lost when they traded. I can't remember. They got one back when they traded somebody.
Okay, no, they have a round 4. Excuse me, they have a round 4, but no round 5.
No round 5. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So somewhere between round 3 and round 5, there's going to be a run on centers. This is actually a really good center class.
Okay.
So some of the centers, and I'm going to my website here to make sure I don't miss a name, but you guys, the chat has been pretty good. But Brian Parker Jr. from Duke, he was a tackle converted to center.
Okay.
Connor Lew from Auburn. Now, Connor Lew is probably going to miss training camp with a torn ACL.
Ooh.
We thought he was going back to school. We're really surprised that he declared.
Right.
But Connor Lew from Auburn, a lot of people would have as center one if he was healthy.
Ooh.
Matt Gulbin from Michigan State. Not a lot of people are talking about him.
Okay.
But Matt Gulbin from Michigan State, some people are grading him day 2, but you're definitely going to get a center that would be able to start for you within 24 games of when you draft him. So if he doesn't start his rookie year, you should be able to start him his second year. Logan Jones from Iowa. We've been talking about Logan Jones on our channel for 2 years. We thought we were really high on him last year. This year didn't disappoint. So Logan Jones from Iowa, and I saw like Jennings Dunker mentioned in the chat. You can't really go wrong drafting an offensive lineman from Iowa.
There you go. That's tight in you there. Ken here has about center here. He says they should go 3rd round center Jake Slaughter. Day 1 starter.
Yeah. So then there were going to be 3 more I was going to mention. Parker Brailsford from Alabama, Jake Slaughter from Florida, Trey Zune from Texas A&M.
Okay.
So nearly all of these guys are graded within 45 to 50 spots of each other.
Okay.
So the basic idea would be you don't need to grab one early, right? Like, okay, whichever one falls to round 4, let's grab.
Okay.
As long as they're the right scheme fit.
Right.
So one of the other challenges is that one team may see Jake Slaughter as center 1 because they're going to run more of a power scheme. And another team might see Parker Brailsford if they run outside zone as center 1. So not every team is going to look at the center the same way based on what they ask the center to do.
Right, right.
What would make Brian Parker higher is Brian Parker is going to be able to play in both schemes, whether it's power or outside zone. You should be able to use Brian Parker, and he played tackle at Duke.
Okay.
So if you draft Brian Parker, you can draft him and figure out his position later.
Okay.
You're not necessarily like we think his best NFL position is center at Draft Professor.
Right.
But you're drafting somebody that played left tackle. Is he left tackle? No, he's right tackle. You're drafting somebody that played right tackle at Duke. The left tackle at Duke is John Fina's son.
Oh, really?
John Fina is a retired NFL offensive lineman. And
I remember the name. Yeah.
I podcast with somebody that played next to John on the Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
so
nice.
Jerry Ostrowski podcast with Draft Professor once in a while. So, yeah.
Paul wants to know, but will the Bengals actually take a center? I have no idea. we hope so.
And we'll Dale was telling me that center's not the need. It's either guard or tackle.
Yeah, I'm more guard or tackle. I mean, because we have Lee, who's been on the practice squad for a couple years. I think they've been grooming him to take center. We used to have McLaughlin, but I think they cut it, or I don't think he's on the practice squad, if I'm saying his name right. And Orlando Brown is the one that next year, I think next year's his last year of his contract, I think, give or take, somewhere around there. So, and he's getting older and he hasn't done all that awesome. We got Dalton Reiser, who we all want to resign at right guard, but he's also getting older. But I mean, guard, we also have Rivers there, who I actually think Keith Rivers can be the future right guard. But to me, one of the biggest things for the offensive line just for next year alone is finding a swing tackle, because we don't really have one on the roster right now. We got Cody Ford, which he is what he is. Yeah, I mean, that's really our swing tackle. So that's where I'm at. Either we need to sign one or draft one. So that's my, and if the swing tackle, if he could, hell, I don't know, he could groom to be the eventual left tackle, that's fine too. But that's for a need right now going into next year. That's more of the need that I think we need, as long as we sign Dalton Reisner.
So if you're okay with a project tackle, you're going to love this draft tackle class. As long as you're comfortable with a project. Next year's offensive tackle class is looking a little bit better. There were a couple guys that went back to school that we were moderately hoping to declare just to give this tackle class some oomph. But Monroe Freeling from Georgia would be the first name I would invoke. He is one of the few players in this class that could play both tackles. I doubt he lasts to the Bengals pick in round 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I would if I'm in Cincinnati, I would consider taking him at 10.
All right. So
I would take him over the Utah guys.
Okay. So I got the first 3 written down. What did you go with for the 4th round pick? What is your gut telling you for to write it down? I'm not that holding.
Oh, sure. Here. So I'll throw out some slot receivers, and that's because every Bengals person that comes on our channel and does a mock draft is drafting a slot.
I do think they're going to get a slot. Yeah, I'm thinking 4th. We don't have a 5th. 4th or 6th is going to be slot. Right. Yeah.
So if you have a dream, you want it to be Zachariah Branch from Georgia.
Okay.
I don't think he'd last to round 4. The NFL loves drafting track stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so They do.
Zachariah Branch was comped to Tyreek Hill when he came out of high school. But he's not your traditional slot receiver. Most of his receptions at Georgia were at or behind the line of scrimmage. So if that's not how the Bengals deploy their offense, he may not be the best scheme fit, but at minimum, you're getting yourself one of the best kick returners in the draft. You're getting yourself a track star. He will be productive, but just the question would be, I don't think he lasts around 4. So then a couple more names I'll invoke would be Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech, Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State, Deion Burks from Oklahoma, Eric McAllister from TCU, and I'm looking for one more specific player. Lewis Bond from Boston College.
Okay.
So out of all those guys, Lewis Bond would be my favorite. I think he's actually going to go higher than the Bengals' 4th round pick. But okay. He was at the Senior Bowl. He's coming on late. Not a lot of people are talking about him. But this draft definitely has a lot of slot receivers, but I would say Lewis Bond in round 4.
All right, I get a couple of these comments here. Christopher says Jennings Dunker, right tackle, Iowa, can play all 5 spots.
Well, I would say he has experience there, but I don't know that I would want him to be my left tackle.
Okay.
I don't know that I want him to be my right tackle.
Why?
But he doesn't – I don't want to say it. You're going to give up a few sacks. Like we saw what Will Campbell did in the Super Bowl. That should be an exhibit of there's a reason you want your tackles to have a certain arm length, have a certain set of footwork.
Right.
Right. So Dunker has experience. So I would say use the term he might be able to get you out of a game at tackle. If your starting tackle goes down, okay, he can get you out of the game at tackle and then bring in like a Jalen Rivers or something to fill back in at guard. But generally speaking, like if we're looking at a tackle, you want to look at somebody like Demetrius Crownover from Texas A&M. He has the measurables. Now, there's plenty of other deficiencies in his game, but I'm a very big proponent of I want a tackle that's going to meet the average measurement thresholds of the position. And you don't want to get in the biggest game of the year, which was the Super Bowl, and then find that you have a deficiency. I mean, I even think back to when the Bengals were in the Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yeah.
Right, because the Bengals were starting at least one backup offensive lineman in that game. Right.
I think there's one guy left that's in the NFL from that offensive line. That's Jonah Williams. I think he's the only one left.
Kind of thing. So it's just one of those things is that we don't need to take somebody like a Dunker. He played tackle in college. Everybody I talk to is projecting him to guard. Don't move him back to tackle. Right. There's a reason that we're moving him inside.
Right.
And hopefully you saw the Super Bowl and what that did.
Yeah.
right, to Will Campbell. And Will Campbell was drafted like 3rd overall.
Right.
Right. Kind of thing. So
Right,
we don't need to be switching people's positions. If he's a guard, right, Dunker's projecting to guard. Yes, Max Ihenekor.
There you go. There's a tackle from Arizona. There you go.
Yep. So Max Ihenekor, I believe he's from Nigeria. He's
Okay.
only played football a few years. So he's not finished. But what Ihenekor has going for him is that he did better against David Bailey than the Utah tackles did.
Ooh,
so
really?
Caleb Lomu and Spencer Fano struggled against David Bailey.
Okay.
Ihenekor did not.
Okay.
So I'm expecting Max to be drafted in round 1. And like, I think the Texans are going to go offensive line in round 1, and they'll grab, whether it's Monroe Freeling, Max Ihenekor, either of the Utah tackles. I think that's where Houston has to go with their pick.
All right, Christopher's got another scenario here for us. Back to the first round here. So sign a free agent, safety edge, D tackle, then draft Malachi Lemon at 10. What's your thoughts on that?
Go right ahead and keep investing in wide receiver. The rest of the AFC will appreciate that you didn't fix the rest of the roster.
Let's see here.
That's a Matt Millen draft take right there.
No, Crip, we don't have Bobby Hart anymore. No, he's not. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby Hart still is in the league. You're right. He did. He did. But I don't want him. Hold on a second here. Ken's blowing it up here. I'm trying to get his stuff. Okay. He says Armel Wagner, left tackle, Notre Dame.
I believe Emil Wagner is a right tackle.
Okay.
So I would say right now I'm hearing like round 3 to 5.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. But again, this if a team needs a tackle, this isn't a good free agent class for it.
No, it's not.
So the question would be, what are you willing to trade to get one? And like, I was watching a different podcast earlier today where they were saying, okay, like, for those in the audience that don't know, I'm a Bills fan. Buffalo has 2 backup tackles that I think are about to get traded.
Ooh.
Buffalo, because there was a game this year where both of Buffalo's starting tackles were out, and Josh Allen didn't get sacked.
Right.
We
need that.
Right. So you need to recognize that there are some teams that have backup tackles that might be better than the prospects in the draft.
Oh yeah, and so I give all 99.9% of my information from Dale. This is not a great offensive line draft. I know you said center's pretty good, but I don't think as far as tackles, it's not that good, right? Am I correct in that?
Not a good tackle class, really good guard and center class. Okay. Like really good. So like if you need to fix guard, draft 2.
There you go.
Right? And hope that one of these tackles next year falls to you. Because like I said, when you hit on tackle, you've essentially solved that position and you don't need to draft it high for the next 10 to 15 years.
Like the Bengals did with Amarius Mims. I mean, he's going to be a right tackle for
exactly
as long. Yeah. I mean, now we haven't hit on a left tackle in draft one since Anthony Munoz, probably. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Chuck's got one here. I like Ohio State's Curry defensive end. He is like Sam H. I don't know who's saying. Oh, Hubbard, I guess he means. What's your thoughts on Curry?
So Caden Curry is kind of stiff. I think he's a day 3 player.
Okay.
He's a guy, right? Like, and he's going to have a decent floor, but I don't know that you're going to get anything special out of Caden Curry at the NFL level. So are you drafting because you have an open spot on the roster, or are you drafting because you need a starter? I could list probably 20 guys I would take over Curry if my team needed a starter.
All right. What about Isaiah World, left tackle, Oregon?
So there's a huge range of opinions on him.
Okay.
So like Jerry Ostrowski, retired NFL offensive lineman, said, yeah, he would take World in round 1. He's like, there's enough there that you can work with him and he would be a starter. But that's round 1 traits, day 3 film. So World hasn't put it together yet. So
project for sure.
Definitely a project, but they're very similar to what I said about Freeling. there's measurements there. So you know that if World makes it, you're not going to see what happened to Will Campbell in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to see. We saw Aaron Donald blow our Super Bowl up. Let's see here. Ken's got another, which I've kind of said this about Mims. Could Mims be moved to left tackle and Rivers to right? I see Rivers. I don't know about you. I see Rivers as a guard. I don't necessarily see him as a tackle. I've said I could see them moving Mims to left tackle eventually. I'm not saying do this next year, but I could see that eventually. What's your thoughts on moving Mims to right tackle?
The scouting report on Rivers was that he would be a better guard than tackle.
Right.
Right. That was what we had on Rivers coming out.
Yes.
We don't necessarily have a lot of data to tell us that we're right or wrong yet.
So that's yeah, and I think the Bengals, see him as a guard is what I think they see him as. Let's see here. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be. Are you gonna be a Slingers fan? Do you know what the Slingers are? It's the indoor arena football team that's coming here. You plan on going to a Slingers game there, Jim?
So is that a Cincinnati arena ball team?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm going to be the announcer for them. So yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. So I didn't even know Cincinnati was getting an arena ball team. I would definitely check that out. I saw a lot of arena ball games in Detroit when I went to college.
Arena ball is fun. I say announcer, I'm gonna be the in stadium announcer. I'm gonna be like, it's third down. I'll be doing that stuff there. So yeah, come and check it out here. All right. Ken says Proctor defensive
other Proctor.
Southwest Louisiana.
That's a player. I'm aware of the player, but I am not familiar with the player's game.
Okay. All right. Okay. So all right. So we left it off at number 4. We don't have a 5th. So we got 2 6th. So where are we at? 2 6th-round picks for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to do a quick Bengals mock so that I'm not going to be talking out of my rear on which players may or may not be available.
Can you bring it up on the? Do you know how to share it on here? You can bring it up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or do that real quick. We can bring it up here. That way everybody can see it. Live TV, folks. Here we go. Add the stage. All right, there you go.
Okay, so I'll keep everybody happy. We'll go Caleb Downs. I would have gone Peter Woods, but I'm going to keep the masses happy. Okay.
Like I said, for the record, I'm okay with Peter Woods because I think we can get a starting safety in the 2nd round. So I'm okay with that.
So I went Caleb Downs, Dominique Orange.
Okay.
And then so Isaiah World is there, and Blake Miller's there. I'm going Blake Miller in round 3.
Okay.
So that's the offensive tackle from Clemson.
All right.
And then I think I mentioned Lewis Bond here was the player that I liked when we were talking earlier. I'm going to see if Lewis Bond is still available. There he is. Okay, so now we're getting into those late round picks.
Right.
Draft theory, you always need to draft a corner, and if possible, always draft a linebacker.
And the Bengals love their corners, and they need to draft a linebacker. We need to sign one, too.
Okay, so here's a fun player to talk about.
All right, we got
Domani Jackson.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Okay.
I know who he is. Go ahead.
Yeah. So last year, we had first-round grades on Domani Jackson.
Okay.
And he chose to go back to school. Let's just say the player made a bad decision.
Okay.
Based upon draft stock. Now, he may have made a significant amount of coin NIL. So I'm not saying it was a bad financial decision.
Right.
But I'm going to go Domani Jackson is this round 6? Yeah. So Domani Jackson round 6. Okay. You are getting an athlete. This is a player that was a track star, and you will see all of it when he's there. He won't have to play immediately, but that's the kind of late round corner that you can hit on. So mention him, and then I'm looking at linebacker right now.
Okay,
I'm gonna go Trey Moore, the linebacker from Texas.
All right.
With the last 6th round pick.
Okay.
because I know some Bengals fans want Sonny Styles, but
Yeah.
again, I've heard from like Dale and Ryan that you don't take a linebacker high. There's too much invested there with Demetrius
Right.
Knight.
They had 2 draft picks last year in them. So yeah, they probably, if they take one, it's gonna be later. I agree with that. With that thought process.
And
they might not take one at all. They might sign a free agent linebacker. I might not take one at all. So we'll see.
And then I'm going to go. There was one more pick in round 7 between running back and tight end. Who's there? Not a fan. I'm like looking through the list. Wow, this is a pretty thin list. But I'm actually going to go Josh Cuevas, the tight end from Alabama, in round 7.
All right.
So I mentioned Domani Jackson, Trey Moore, Josh Cuevas. This is a really good draft to get a day 3 tight end. As long as you don't need the tight end to play, 70% of your snaps, this is a great tight end class. You could be able to pick your tight end 2 that'll be on your roster for 5 to 10 years. This is a great draft to get that player. But, you're not going to see a Brock Bowers in this draft class.
No,
you're not going to see tight ends that are Sam Laporta. Don't look for a tight end like that. But, every team needs that, blocking tight end kind of thing. Look for those players. There's a lot. Tanner Arkin from Illinois is one of my favorite blocking tight ends in this class. So look to build the roster. Don't look to draft an all-pro. Because in general, this draft class is actually, I would say, weaker than even what we had last year or even the year before.
And they can go do this just like the mock draft you just did. They can do this on your website too. So put that out there so everybody can, new people listening, where's the website at? How can they get there?
Yeah, it's draftprofessor.com, and I'll drop it into your chat for you.
All right, there you go. Yeah, Fuzzy Balls, you're right. JUCO is a free agent. Like I said, all this depends on what they can do. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we don't know who's going to get cut yet.
Yeah,
right. I mean, there's rumors that Dawson Knox gets cut. Njoku's going to be a free agent. So there's a lot of things that are going to be moving within the next 4 weeks before free agency even begins.
Right. The big name cuts I think are come now. The later, and there could be some in June cuts too. You never know what happens there, but that's after the draft and everything else. So,
it's like 50% of the teams are over the cap right now.
Right.
So there's going to be movement, and NFL GMs plan for this.
Right.
Every year.
Yeah. We
got through the season. We're going to do what we need to do to get under the cap, and then they build a new roster for the next year.
All right, let's get through a couple more of these. I thought we talked about this already. Nobody.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I guess Christopher didn't hear what you said. For just real quick,
Western Michigan player probably going on day 3.
Okay, there you go. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Ken says a Godfather mentioned the linebacker out of USC who has 35-inch arms.
Eric Gentry.
Okay, what's your thoughts on him?
So he will be a really good special teams player at the NFL level.
Okay.
It's difficult to know if he actually has an NFL position on a defense. So that's kind of the challenge with Eric Gentry. So really fun college player. I could probably think of 20 linebackers that I could find that would be a better NFL defensive prospect. Eric Gentry will be drafted. He will have at least a floor as being a special teams player.
Okay. All right. Fuzzy Balls. Fuzzy Balls. I love that name. Antonio Williams, Clemson wide receiver, 3rd round. What's your thoughts?
So would it shock you that some people want him in round 2?
No.
Right. So Antonio Williams is an interesting player from the standpoint of, okay, coming into the year, he was my favorite round 1 wide receiver.
Oh,
right. So there's a pedigree there.
That's
that
good.
We had enough data on him in the summer that we were calling him a round one player.
Okay.
But he had terrible quarterback play this year. Terrible.
So that's what stinks about wide receivers. Yeah, terrible quarterback play. Makes you drop. So which I don't understand. How does that make him drop if his skill set is still there? You still believe that?
So the skill set's there, but he also missed some time with injuries.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
so I mean, some of it's Antonio Williams' own fault, and this is not the first season that Antonio Williams has missed games with injuries.
Okay.
And ultimately, we're going to be dealing with that with a lot of players, like Jordan Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
I think is going to be drafted in the top 10, but Jordan Tyson has missed games every single season with injuries.
Right.
So maybe he does drop, kind of thing, right?
Right.
Antonio Williams, the injuries, one of them might be as severe as what Jordan Tyson's had, but like Antonio Williams gets a lot of soft tissue injuries, kind of thing. So Antonio Williams will be a fun player for whoever drafts him.
Right.
He has to stay healthy. So everybody's going to be excited about Antonio Williams on draft day because they got him.
Right.
Great. But are we going to be talking about him 2 years from now?
Okay.
He's got to stay healthy.
All right. Got a couple more here. Ken says the quarterback from Indiana, Pons.
So if D'Angelo Pons was 5'11", he's going to be drafted in the top 5. He would be the best corner in the class.
What's he going to measure at?
But I think he's going to come in at like 5'7" or 5'8".
Ooh.
170-ish pounds.
Okay.
And do I want to put D'Angelo Pons against Jamar Chase?
Chase was eating his lunch.
Exactly. So that's the problem if you draft Pons, is that if there's many NFL teams have a receiver that's the same size as Jamar Chase, right? Chase is going to make him eat his lunch because he's Jamar Chase. But there's plenty of other receivers that are a notch or two below Jamar Chase in your wide receiver rankings, which would still be able to own D'Angelo Pons. So now you move Pons inside to the slot, which I saw somebody say in there. Yeah, so now you're going to ask somebody that's 170 pounds to go tackle a running back and face an offensive tackle or offensive guard that's pulling. Right? And there are teams, right, where the entire running game is designed to make cornerbacks tackle.
Yeah.
Right. That's what outside.
Well, that's what you want. You want the mismatch, and that's the mismatch.
Right. Like, try to make Deion Sanders tackle you.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't tackle.
Deion Sanders didn't tackle. Right. No. But that's the idea, right? That's why a lot of teams are coming back to run, is because NFL teams are drafting these corners that cover but can't tackle. So it's a constant chess match. So D'Angelo Pons, again, it's going to be a fun draft pick. Everybody is going to, whichever team drafts him, is going to celebrate. We got D'Angelo Pons.
Right.
But I want to see him play in January.
Right.
Because I also say, like, I have terms like there's a regular season player and then there's a January player. I want guys that step up in January.
I want winners. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Right. But like D'Angelo Pons, and then we talked about a couple like Jennings Dunker earlier, Will Campbell. Right. Will Campbell in January, technically February, let his team down.
Yeah.
Right.
He did. Yeah.
On the biggest stage,
yep.
You have to deliver.
There you go. All right, Christopher's got another one here. Aaron Anderson, wide receiver, LSU. He said, I did not love him in the slot. What's your thoughts on Aaron Anderson?
So, okay, slot receiver. Dale and I podcasted on LSU in July. We were expecting big things from Aaron Anderson, and he's making Dale and I look like liars. Right?
Liars.
I mean, so would it surprise you if I said the best LSU wide receiver is somebody that nobody's talking about? And that's Chris Hilton, the wide receiver. Now, Chris Hilton, I think, only had 10 catches this year.
Right.
But what Chris Hilton does is Chris Hilton blocks. Chris Hilton will cover kicks and special teams. So Chris Hilton is going to be able to make a team as wide receiver 5. Aaron Anderson's not going to cover kicks. So I don't know if Aaron Anderson is going to be able to crack an NFL team's lineup
Really?
as a slot receiver, because he's left us wanting more for like 2 or 3 straight years.
Right.
So, and I mean, but we can say that for everybody on LSU, right? We expect more from Brian Kelly, Garrett Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson.
That's why Brian Kelly's no longer the coach there. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Ken's got one more. We'll get out of here. He wants to know who is the best slot receiver in this draft class.
Am I allowed to say Mekhi Lemon?
You can say whatever you want to say. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say Mekhi Lemon, but I could invoke a lot of names. Like Zachariah Branch will be a popular day 2 slot wide receiver. Trying to think here. I'm going to go and look at a player list here to cheat.
You want me to bring it up? There. Okay.
I'll be all right. Skylar Bell from UConn.
Okay.
Zachariah Branch, we mentioned. Eric Rivers, I mentioned earlier. Brennan Thompson. There we go. Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State. So I think the comps for Brennan Thompson are similar to Jacoby Lane. So it's like a 5'8" receiver, 175 pounds soaking wet, highly explosive.
Fast. Quick?
Yes, quick and
twitchy,
fast.
Twitchy? Is he twitchy?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And if you watch any Mississippi State game, like Mississippi State is an SEC team, and they don't have much. Mm-hmm. So they feed him the ball. They find ways to get Brennan Thompson the ball. He was a fun player to watch, just watching the broadcasts, because he was like, he's the best player on a bad team.
I agree with Chris. You are the man, Jim. All right. Well, one more. I promise I'll get you out of here on this one. KP for Casey. I thought Eric Singleton would have been the best had he come out.
I don't think he would have been the best, but he would be in the same conversation.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, we'll end it on. Okay, yeah, some more. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so Eric, it's funny, like Eric Rivers of Georgia Tech replaced Eric Singleton. So I think Eric Singleton transferred to Auburn. So one Eric replaced the other Eric. They're almost the same height and weight. It's just moderately funny that earlier in the draft cycle, are we talking about the correct Eric?
Right. Which Eric?
But like Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech would be a good player to settle on if you can't get Eric Singleton, because he's went back to school.
Awesome stuff, Jim. You know me. I'm going to get you on at least once or twice a week here for the for the draft here. Now you guys go check it out here at the draftprofessor.com. You plug some stuff. You do podcasts, all kinds of stuff there. Plug some more stuff before I get you out of here.
Absolutely. So my name's Jim. You can follow me on X at NFL Draft Fanatic, no I in Fanatic. What you get on my Twitter is draft content. So generally speaking, I'll be posting some mock drafts. I'll be posting a little bit, and then I retweet a lot of stuff from my podcasters. So Draft Professor has 80 podcasters.
That's
you
it?
know a few of them. So Dale podcasted with me all summer until he had to go back to school.
Right.
So I was Dale's summer hobby on Mondays.
You were.
Parker Blake, Ryan Sparks would be two other people that some Bengals fans would know. And like Ryan is usually in the chat of our podcast every night. So every night we podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern. The subjects vary, the podcasters vary. So tonight, I think the 7 p.m. podcast is wide receivers and the 9 p.m. podcast is running backs, to give you an idea. But then like tomorrow night, it's the defensive players that fit a Brian Flores defense. So the podcasters pick some really cool specific topics that you won't find anywhere else.
Now this is all on draftprofessor.com.
Yes, and all of these podcasts you can find on the YouTube channel, which is also, can I point? Oh, I can't get my thing across the screen. So at NFL Draft Fanatic is also the YouTube channel. So very similar to what Jeff said, if you turn on the subscribe, you will be notified whenever we go live, which is twice a day. We do 32 team mock drafts every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Woo.
So that's 32 different people drafting for their teams. And then you get to see who else is targeting Caleb Downs, who else is targeting all these other players that we're talking about. So those mocks are a lot of fun. And then April 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have Epic Mock 26, which is the largest internet mock in the universe. That will be 7 rounds, 32 teams. There will be 33 podcasts. Every team is going to have their own podcast.
Wow.
And then Draft Professor is also going to have one.
Cool.
So we did that last year. And
for the Bengals.
Ryan Sparks and Parker Blake
Gotcha.
are doing it for the Bengals. But, Jeff, I can get you looped in. Like, we can – the idea is to bring everybody together. It isn't to make it Ryan and not Jeff. The goal is to bring everybody together, get you all to disagree, and then you still have to make a pick.
Hey, I'm down for it. Give me the dates and times. And I'll have to look at.
I will text you. I will text you as soon as we're off of here. Absolutely.
Sounds
good. Epic Mock 26. You'll be hearing a lot about it really soon.
Sounds like a lot of fun. All right, 2 more here real quick. I just put them in there. Who are your sleeper picks?
Okay, I'll give you one at most positions. So at quarterback, I'm going to say Drew Allar from Penn State.
Okay.
I think Allar is going to go round 1. At running back, my sleeper is going to be Roman Hemby from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
At wide receiver, I've already talked. I'm going to say Chris Bell from Louisville. He's injured, but when he gets healthy, he was going to go in round 1 if he didn't tear his ACL.
There you go.
So not enough people talking about him. At tight end, from SMU, now I have to remember DJ Rogers from TCU. Explosive athlete, but he's been at TCU too long.
Right.
He should have transferred out of TCU. Offensive tackle, I would say Austin Barber from Florida. On the interior offensive line, I would say Chase Besantis from Texas A&M, not getting nearly enough love.
Okay.
Defensive line, Rayshon Benny from Michigan. Linebacker, Red Murdoch from University of Buffalo.
I like the name. Just for the name alone is cool. Red Murdoch.
Red Murdoch from Buffalo. Shout out to
name.
Owen, who is a draft professor that used to be a scout at the University of Buffalo.
Gotcha.
At edge, I'm also going to go Jayshon Barham from Michigan. He is like if Buffalo, I'm a Bills fan. If Buffalo gets Barham, I think Buffalo's defense is going to be fine. Safety, Wydett Williams from Ole Miss. And then at corner, Traydon Stukes from Arizona.
Awesome. And I will get with you about the draft show that I'm going to be doing and try to get you to join us there where that is at. So it's going to be an awesome time. Jim, as always, this is awesome. Like I said, I will try to get you back on again here next week or week after that. Appreciate you, man. It's draft season, baby. It's awesome.
Thank you. Oh, I live for it every day. Thanks, Jeff.
See you, brother. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy that much. Go check out Jim. I mean, those guys do. I mean, literally, they do drafts all the time. They are always talking NFL draft from noon till night. So make sure you guys go check them out there at the draftprofessor.com. Check out their YouTube channel, their page. It's all free. It's a great time. I have not. I remember this last year. I said I was going to register, and I haven't done it. So that's bad on my fault. But I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna start registering and get to go and play around the mock draft.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping requires. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. Their website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moreline beer, some delicious Moreline food, and tell them I sent you. Moreline Lager House.
As always, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Yes, Ken, Jim is awesome, and that is awesome. You definitely will subscribe, so make sure you go subscribe. Who Dey Paul. Appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, we did early today at 3 o'clock because I got some stuff going on. So I always tell you, make sure you hit the bell for the notification because every time I go live, you'll be notified. Make sure you guys are following me on all the platforms. But thanks for watching. As always, I've been live streaming YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, Instagram. You can follow me on all those platforms along with Threads and TikTok. Please check out my Substack. Like I said, I have been writing some articles there. From time to time, I have not written one yet this week. I will try to get one out. Maybe I'll do some draft stuff out there, give you my opinions, whether you want them or not. But that Substack. It's all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. Please make sure you check out the podcast. I'll be putting it out later on tonight. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor. Listen to it, rate it, like it, review it. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. Tomorrow, we'll be talking baseball again because pitchers and catchers have reported. If you guys missed the interview I did yesterday with Graham Ashcraft, it was awesome. Other than this microphone did not work, so I sound like I'm talking in a tunnel, but you can hear it. So my apologies on the microphone not working. Once it started, I couldn't fix it. So anyway, other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful day, and remember, throw it up. That's your sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.